Welcome back to Global Business Africa. Now, the Rockefeller Foundation launched a $1 million Cassava Innovation Challenge at the World Economic Forum for Africa. The challenge will provide financial and technical support to novel solutions from across the world to tackle barriers facing the cassava crop. Cassava is a main source of nutrition for approximately 500 million people globally. Nigeria is the world's largest producer of cassava, where more than 50 million tons of cassava is grown annually. Unfortunately, cassava has a short shelf life and goes bad within 24 hours if left unprocessed or untreated. Now, joining us in the studio with some more insight into the Foundation's projects is Mamadou Biteye. He's the Managing Director of the Rockefeller Foundation in Africa. Mr. Biteye, welcome to the show. Now, of course, I'd like to start with this 1 million Cassava Innovation Challenge. Give us some more insight into this challenge. Why cassava specifically? And, of course, what do you hope to achieve with this project?
Thank you very much, Uche. I think that the $1 million Innovation Challenge for cassava is part of a more global, bigger effort launched by the Rockefeller Foundation earlier this year in January. At the World Economic Forum in Davos. It is a $130 million investment to reduce post-harvest loss by 50% by 2030. And we're working on the specific value chains which have an importance in Africa because they are staple crops and on them depend many Africans for their nutrition. But also millions of smallholder farmers in Africa depend on those crops. And that is the case of cassava. You've just said it. It is the staple food for half of the continent's population, over 500 million. Yet cassava actually faces many losses, sometimes over 50%. And this is mainly due to the short shelf of life. Cassava can stay 4 years underground and be fine. But once you've harvested it, actually it can't stay more than 3 days, 72 hours, and goes spoiled. The other thing is that other challenges is that there are new varieties of cassava, but smallholder farmers are not accessing them. And also processing are far from the farms, etc. So this is why we believe that by bringing a disruptive innovation that allows to extend the shelf life from 3 days to a week or more will make a tremendous impact on how cassava can be used, particularly to realize the commercial potential that the crops has. So the challenge would be is really to innovators, to problem solvers, to tech designers, to everyone who has an idea about how we can address that. But in 3 ways. First, we will be looking at how we can improve the planting material so that once harvested, it can stay longer. Second is also reducing the loss during storage and transportation, because that is also another segment where cassava faces a lot of losses. And finally, how do you bring simple, accessible, efficient, and affordable processing technologies on farm or near farm?
Right. Now, it seems like the foundation has been doing quite a lot in Africa, especially now that Africa's economies are sort of going through a tough time. You just talked about some of your projects in agriculture. Give us some insight into some other sectors which Rockefeller Foundation is looking to fund.
First of all, we need to say that the Rockefeller Foundation's mission is to improve the well-being of humanity worldwide. And this means that besides agriculture, which is a main source of income in Africa, also the issues of healthcare and also livelihoods are really important to people's well-being. So one of the areas that we are funding, and we've been funding since 2013, is how we can work with private sector, with governments, with different stakeholders to tackle the issue of the youth bulge through Digital Jobs Africa, and leveraging also on the transformative power of ICT in the continent to generate jobs in different sectors. So that's where actually we've been working in different countries in Africa, and we're seeing a lot of progress in terms of really training youth to the skills that are needed by employers, particularly focusing on a segment of the youth that is actually overlooked. Is all those who have not been able to get tertiary education or have finished high school but do not really have any skills to get into the job market.
And very quickly, sorry, we're running out of time. Very quickly, how much are you looking at investing in Africa going forward, maybe in the next 5 years or so?
Well, actually, I can say that today African continent represents the area where we make the biggest investments in the foundation. If you take three of our largest initiatives to date, we're talking about $300 million.
Well, yeah. Thank you so much for giving us insight into those projects. Of course, Mamadou Biteye, the MD of Rockefeller Foundation in Africa.